Let's welcome back to the show from House Financial Services, Congressman Bill Huizenga. It's good to see you, Congressman, and also Economic Pro Mitch Roschelle. Thank you, gentlemen, both, for spending time with us this Friday night. All right, so just a housekeeping, a point of order. It's $8.1 trillion, Congressman, since the pandemic that's been added to the nation's balance sheet. That number is just about France, Germany, and Italy combined. So, Congressman, when are the White House and Democrats going to get the wake-up call that the San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank pointed out, that this spending added 3 percentage points to the U.S. inflation rate?
Well, I guess when you're a radical Keynesian, everything looks like a spending opportunity. So I'm not sure that they ever think that there's enough spending that is going on. And, you know, interestingly enough, Liz, as you were talking about that number, here's the thing. The first bill that we dealt with when we were going into this COVID crisis, it was a bipartisan bill. And people were warning it. Once we pierced that threshold of $1 trillion with a T, we were never going to be able to turn back. And that now is the new measurement about whether you care or whether you actually are concerned about what's happening in the economy. After that first initial bill, which was a massively bipartisan bill, we saw the Democrats and the Democrats alone just go on a drunken sailor kind of spending binge. And here's the result. Yeah. And that's a huge problem. Now they want me and us as the Republican majority to pay for their spending.
So here's the thing to what the congressman just said, Mitch. You and I, we've talked about this. The inflation is igniting layoffs, recession. You've got companies pointing this out in earnings calls. So why are we still doing massive pandemic level spending when the president said the pandemic is over?
To the point that the congressman made, they're on a tear. We can spend because we can. It's what they've been chomping at the bit to do. But Liz, because of inflation, the Fed has had to raise interest rates. And by the Fed raising interest rates, the national debt is going up sort of exponentially, right, because we don't have the current cash flow to pay that debt when it's due. So what are we doing? We're borrowing money to pay interest on money we borrowed. It's a vicious cycle.
That's the point. I mean, let's listen to the president. He's going to tout hiring more IRS workers and agents, but he's not talking about spending cuts. Watch this.
You know, all these new IRS agents we have is because they fired a lot of them and a lot of retiring. And guess what? Who needs serious agents to know what they're doing and not doing? The billionaires, the multi-millionaires.
Where could money get cut? I mean, is it looking into the defense budget? I mean, the Pentagon's budget, which by all accounts is a black hole with tons of money that, for classified reasons or other reasons just doesn't get publicly accounted for?
You know, that's a conversation that we should have around budget time when we talk about what's on the table and what isn't, and there will be a good time to have that talk.
What is he talking about budget time? Congress has not delivered a budget on time since 1996. There is no budget time. I mean, and by the way, the House Ways and Means Joint Committee found taxpayers under $400,000, even under $200,000 a year, Congressmen, are going to get audited.
Absolutely. You know, I'm glad Joe is cuddling up on the Chesterfield, listening to the wireless down there in Delaware, but it's not the real news that he's listening to. And here, the simple fact is this is not going to be just millionaires and billionaires. Let's get in on the little secret like he did. It's going to hit the middle class and small business owners.
Yeah, and
so
by the way,
that's what we're.
And by the way, to your point, what Mitch, what the congressman is saying, the millionaires and billionaires can afford lawyers to fight against the IRS. The middle class and lower class can't, right? And, the president, we spent a lot on Obamacare. Look at what Gallup is saying, Mitch. Gallup is now finding more than half the nation still say health care is poor after all that blowout spending. But I know the congressman wants to talk about this, but they're focusing on things like banning gas-powered stoves. You know what I mean, Mitch?
They're looking at all the wrong things. First of all, I don't know who fired these IRS agents, and I've spent a career working with the ultra rich on tax structures that are completely legal. So the only way you're going to get more money out of the tax rolls is to go to the little guys.
Yeah, and Congressman, I know you want to talk about the ban on gas stoves. I mean, we've got 10 million job openings, right? Where are they going to find 87,000 IRS workers and agents?
Well, that's a good question, and to the point that both you and our other guest are making, we're majoring in the it's things like banning gas stoves when we're completely neglecting our energy policy, and it's the exact same thing. We are choking off the economy while we're trying to send out more money to stimulate it. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
We're upside down again in this. We've fallen through the looking glass on the other side of the mirror with this policy making. Congressman Huizenga, Mitch Roschelle, come back on the show. We'd love to see you again. It's good to have you on.
Thank you.